As the last note, this does happen to be a very real truck, but also a very real human. It is really driving this real truck. And the road out here does get really bumpy, so it'll be really important for your safety. You can stay fully and completely seated throughout our entire story. Keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the truck. But now we're going to head on into the Literary Forest, which is how we're going to begin this 2-week-long safari adventure of ours. That is correct, we are scheduled to be out here for the next 2 weeks, although Hakuna Matata, no worries, those 2 weeks sure will likely fly by so fast it may feel an awful lot like 20 minutes or so. First up, kind of hiding behind some brush here to the right, you might find some of my favorites, the Okapi. Now the Okapi, they do have some striped pants, striped legs, or striped pajamas that kind of makes them resemble a zebra slightly. However, they are anti-skull. The striped pattern on the Okapi is entirely random, allowing them to blend into their surroundings. In fact, they are so successful. Up there. Coming up here to the left-hand side of us, we're going to find the famous black rhinoceros, as we call the black rhino. And the black rhino does weigh in up to 3,000 pounds. It's also got a charging speed of up to 35 miles per hour, making me very glad that it is not interested in charging at a set moment. And also here to the right, we're going to find some beautiful black and white birds with an orange bill, known as the saddle-billed stork. And for their orange bill, which is shaped similar to an English saddle, at standard heights of roughly 5 feet tall, make them pretty tall birds. Also here to the right side, we're going to find a couple different antelope species. The reddish antelope with horns are all called the bongo, just like the drum. Both male and female bongo have horns that allow them to roughly 55 inches or 4 feet 7 inches tall. That actually makes them about roughly 5 inches shorter on average than that of the saddle-billed stork. But now it looks as though we're going to make our way on out of the Literary Forest, although we are still going to continue on this rather lengthy journey of ours. And by continue, I do mean we are going to continue on down into the Salty River. I can already see some beautiful white birds with gray feathers out here, known as the pink-backed pelicans. These pink-backed pelicans out here get their name from a pink coloration on their back, which does extend over to their extremities during their mating season. Now, they are colonial nesters, meaning both male and female pelicans only able to gather at the same time, which is certainly something I feel is very, very romantic. Generally only come up on land when it's a little bit cooler, so cooler times of year, but also cooler times of day are, for the most part, the times that they'll be most active on land. That, of course, does mean that they are commonly a nocturnal animal.
There's something down there, but it might be a person.
I also think I see the hippo.
Oh, it's the hippo.
The largest reptile in the world. We'll have to try to keep our eyes out for the famous Nile crocodile. And the crocodile can grow lengths up to about 16 feet. That's on average about 12 to 14 feet long. You also got a weight of up to about 500 pounds. It would be around 110 or 10%. A bit of a hippo. Now the crocodiles, of course, also known for having one of the stronger fighting horses in the animal kingdom, as those jaws of theirs are capable of crushing down with enough force to allow us to beat up to about roughly half of their body weight in a single beat. In fact, those are just a few of the reasons I, for one, would encourage you to never smile at a crocodile. But of course, now it does look so we're making our way here to a change in the foliage, indicating that we are now getting a little bit closer to the savannah. In fact, I think it might actually be time for us to go ahead and slowly make our way down into the savannah proper. We're just trying to see if we can't get a real nice up close and often very personal view of each and every single one of all these awesome and amazing animals who use the wide open spaces of the savanna as their home.
I see something orange back there. Oh, something's running. Something's running.
Off your right hand side of it, you're going to find some large gray, dark gray or black antelope known as the wildebeest. That is correct. The wildebeest are technically an antelope species, where the word wildebeest is actually an Afrikaans word meaning a wild beast. Therefore, they are in fact literally an antelope and a wild beast all at the same time. Also to the right side of us, we're going to find the tallest animal in the savanna, or the giraffe. It's what giraffe treats about when they're first born. I like to say the first thing a baby giraffe feels is likely gravity. Although not too worrisome, the giraffe does happen to provide a bit of a boost to a baby giraffe's lungs. Therefore, I guess it does work out okay for a baby giraffe in the end. Coming up, laying down here behind their cave to the left is my all-time favorite animal in the savanna, called the African painted dog and the painted wolves, named for the paint-like patterns on their coats. These painted wolves are very close cousins of the domestic dog, like the ones you may have at home, so they are canid or canine. Sadly, though, they are an endangered species, association of roughly 500,000 about 100 years ago, and now today the number just barely into the tens of thousands, unfortunately. Also to the left, you may have found the large horned and collie cattle, also called the Watusi cattle, named for the Watusi tribe who first discovered them. Well, I like to say they're Watusi here to the left. The horns on their heads may look very large and very heavy, but they're actually quite light and honeycombed on the inside, allowing blood to flow through their hoods, also allowing them to stay cool on hot days, acting somewhat like this facing outwards, so as to much more easily protect themselves from predators. If we were to take a close look at the pattern on any of these giraffes to the right, you might notice the edge to each individual pattern. In fact, no two patterns are the same. She acts somewhat like her fingerprints. Ooh, now it does look as though we're going to get to see up ahead of us here to the right a bit of a dazzle. That would of course be a dazzle of zebras. Zebras out here being that of the Hartman's milk zebra, of some of the smaller species of zebra. They also have thicker strips in their hindquarters than that of other zebra species, which does in fact allow younger zebras to tell apart their moms from other zebras in the dazzle.
Oh no. How much does he have to see?
So I'm going to see coming up ahead of us here a rather large tanned antelope here to the right, known as the eland. Now the eland is the largest antelope on the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, able to stand at a height of roughly 6 feet tall at their shoulder, making them about roughly the same height within our necks, which is to say roughly 7 vertebrae. Obviously those there vertebrae are quite a bit larger than ours, which certainly would account for them having much longer necks than those of ours. Also, of course, here to the right, you may have found a smaller antelope. It kind of sort of looks like a gazelle or an impala. These antelope here are called the springbok. Now, these little springbok over here to the right get their name from how they spring into motion. They can leap forward up to 13 feet, and they can hop up to about 6 feet into the air. Although when they do so, it is neither called a hop, jump, leap, skip, or spring. It's actually called a pronk. When those little springbok to the right pronk, they are incredibly quick. They can do so at roughly 60 miles per hour, which is partly why I like to say they're about as quick and acrobatic as they are adorable. But now we're going to go ahead and head on into Timbo territory. That word Timbo does in fact happen to be the Swahili word for a very famous elephant. Like we see out here being that of the African elephant. I mean, well, we are in Africa after all. That would make it a little awkward if they were the Asian elephant. The African elephant does have some rather large ears, which coincidentally is shaped somewhat like Africa, the continent. Also coming up here to the left, you may have found the largest monkey in the entire world, the mandarin monkey. Males weigh up to 100 pounds, while females weigh up to 25 pounds. So the big one was likely a male, while the little ones were likely female. Now the bright markings on their faces and hindquarters get more bright and more vibrant the more they get excited. Also, the short stubble tail on the mandarin monkey's hindquarters is the key distinction of a monkey. As in fact, all monkeys have a tail, whereas the lips and feet have no tail. As the mandarin monkey is the largest and heaviest monkey in the entire world, they do still pale in comparison to the sheer size and weight of the elephant. Of course, is the largest and heaviest animal on land. They can weigh in at up to 13,000 pounds, which is 6.5 tons. And they can grow to be about the same size and weight as that of a late sprinter. They also eat up to 6% of their body weight daily. That means they can eat up to almost 800 pounds of foliage every single day, which caused them to be a bit of a pest problem to a group of farmers over in Kenya. And that's because when the elephants would walk too close to the farmers' crops, they would eat what they perceived as a free buffet. Naturally, that's something those farmers obviously did not like one bit, as they were losing a very large portion of their crops to the elephants. So they wanted to get rid of the elephants. But in fact, we here on the Harambe Wildlife Reserve do not want the elephants losing their habitat. So they do so somewhat. They've learned about elephants right here on the reserve, which is that elephants are in fact afraid of bees. So we took that knowledge over to Kenya, where we built a very special fence around the crops called a bee fence or a beehive fence. So now when the elephants walk too close to the crops, instead of eating that buffet, they disturb the fence. This then disturbs the bees. The bees will then fly out and begin buzzing as they do. And then the elephants, upon hearing that buzz, will become spooked, scared, and go around the crops. And that program does work out nicely for the farmers in the end, as they now gained a new crop, which would actually be that of the bees' honey. And in fact, if you'd like to support that project, then you would go online and order some of that imported honey from Kenya by simply looking at the name of that project. It would actually be that of the Elephants and Bees Project. Now it does look so momentarily we're going to make our way here into a bit of a flamboyance. It would be a flamboyance of the greater flamingo. It's actually the largest of all flamingos in Africa. They can stand at heights of roughly 5 feet tall, making them just a little larger than their Caribbean cousin. They're also the least pink flamingo as well. Granted, it's not because they're pink when they hatch. In fact, after hatching, they are gray. They won't get a pink color in their feathers until after they eat just enough beta-carotene and other carotenoids found in their diet. Now, their diet does consist mainly of things like mollusks, crustaceans, algae, and even shrimp, all of which are found on the bottom of their habitat. Think of the main bottom-feeding animal. That means, yes, it does in fact happen to be these shrimp. So I've got a male lion up here to the left. So I feel like this lion here has the right idea, sleeping as long as they do. That's why I wish I could take a nice 18-hour nap every now and then. Sounds kind of nice.
Oh, wow!
Here to the left-hand side of us, we're going to find some large burrows. This in first we may soon get to see the largest burrowing animal in all of Africa. They have 2 different sets of tusks, the larger of which are on top of their snout, and what used to dig those very large burrows on the left. Whereas the smaller set of tusks are under their jaws, which are razor sharp and used mostly for defense. They do also like to back into their burrows while they sleep, so they have a much easier time protecting themselves from predators. So it looks as though they may have caught them somewhere in their burrows taking a nap.
Snakes.
It does look as though here momentarily we're going to make our way into a ranger outpost, also called a warden's post. The rangers who are stationed there enjoy spending quite a bit of time on some rather lengthy holidays, and when they go on vacation, not to leave in charge of their camp, some peculiar animals tend to be quite perceptive. In fact, these animals out here happen to be so perceptive, I've one and taken a call them a great deal time or the goat. So here I'll go ahead and present you now a small herd of adorable Nigerian dwarf goats, watching over the camp of our vacationing rangers. Now these goats, if you look at them real close and in their eyes, you may notice they have rectangular pupils, which gives them a wide peripheral vision far out of an animal with circular pupils, such as ourselves would have. That's why I like to say they are very perceptive animals. They're also the only animal in the Harambe Wildlife Reserve you can pet right up to these animal kingdom. If you'd like to pet one of these goats or please make your way into the Harambe village and look for or if you can find a village. There's a more short 5-minute train ride called the Wildlife Express. It'll take you into the conservation station. Once you're at the conservation station, you just gotta make a short walk over to the affection section, where you'll find the affection community that's got the Nigerian dwarf goat, among other animals you can pet. But now it does look so we've seen an awful lot of awesome and amazing animals centered around the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, and sadly, a large number of those animals are suffering from habitat loss due to our modern society. And we here at Disney are working tirelessly to preserve and protect all animals and their habitats for future generations. And we do that with programs like the Disney Conservation Fund, although we do still need as much help as we can get. Now it's my hope that seeing these amazing animals on your safari inspires you to get involved in any way you can, because honestly, if you don't, you really will. If you decide to outlaw these animal kingdom, just makes it very easy to do so. Simply approach any branch or location that has on their village. As Disney will match any donation given, $1 to dollar, and cents towards it. Eventually double your donation, which is certainly something I've gone to. This is so very, very cool. In fact, as myself, that's a 100% match of whatever you decide to donate. Now we're nearing the end of the Harambe, as I recognize some familiar music come from the Harambe village. Unfortunately, that does mean that we're time.
Is he gonna dig too?
There's some zebras. Oh, he's going up.
I mean, they are just like taking turns on it. Where do they go?
Now he's digging. Someone's keeping it.
There's two zebras. Can I have one as a pet? In some states, but I don't know what states. And I'm pretty sure they're hard to take care of.
What? No, guys, he's not
Oh, there's another one. There's one right there. It's coming closer.
Look at this guy, he's coming around here.
He's gonna jump on us, everyone.
Hey, you got anything for him?
That's so cute.
Yeah, we got snacks. We got snacks.
Alright, let's go.
Oh, they're making noise.
I want to watch the meerkats.
We don't even care about the zebras.
I mean, zebra man or even meerkat man. I made a whole TV show about meerkats.
Welcome to the States. I hope you're having a good time.
Are you having a good time?
Yes. My English is bad. No, that's
Oh, they're looking at the tree over there.
Lily's big.
No. It's the little in-law. Alright, I wanna, it kinda like blends in. He's moving now. Can you hear? Can you hear those birds? Do you see the birds that are making all the noise?
They're over the hill.
We're on the tiger trail. Maharajah, I think it's something jungle trek. I can't pronounce it.
Everybody just hangs out.
I think it's